Hi, welcome to the second episode of Kitchen Survival, and this is how to survive your cold. Because it's winter and people hate you a lot. I'm going to teach you how to make chicken noodle soup. It's a fairly simple recipe, and it's especially great to make when you feel like you can usually make it out of very few ingredients. Like 5 ingredients. First ingredient, most important ingredient, is chicken. I use chicken thighs because they have extra fat in them and I think they add a lot of extra flavor to it. If you're really healthy, you can use chicken breasts, but chicken thighs are actually cheaper, and let's just be honest, they taste better. For my recipe, which is going to make 4 quarts, I'm going to use 4 chicken thighs, 2 that are kind of medium sized, and then 2 that are really tiny. Next, you're going to need chicken stock, turkey stock, or vegetable stock. You can use stock or bouillon. I like using stock because 1, I can make it at home, it's cheap that way, and 2, it doesn't have as much salt in it, or at least you can salt it to your preference. The other main component to this dish is vegetables. You can use the vegetables you have in your freezer, like frozen broccoli or carrots, peas, any of that stuff will really work, or any of the vegetables that you've already made because you keep leftovers and you're forward-thinking and wonderful person like that. I especially like to add carrots, celery, and 1 onion. 2 carrots, 4 stalks of celery, and 1 onion. So as you can tell, this is a really cheap recipe. Last but not least, you need your noodle. I have leftover egg noodles, and my wonderful girlfriend went out and bought me these rigatoni noodles as well, which are pretty good, and I don't know. We can just use them. You'll need some gimmies like salt, pepper, and olive oil. And now I'm going to show you how to cut chicken up and to cook it. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage. So the first thing that we're going to do is to dice raw chicken. I'm going to use a plastic cutting board. I think that's really important because, you know, raw chicken can be a little scary for people. Use a plastic cutting board and to have it be separate from your vegetable cutting board, which is going to be that cutting board for me. I do the pieces of chicken. Just going to go like this. And I'm going to just slice through the chicken, and I'm going to curl my fingers in so that they don't chop them off and add extra human flesh to the chicken flesh. I know that some vampires out there must really like it when you cut your fingers, but let's just try not to do that. Okay, now they're those nice, really cute little strips. I'm just going to cut them down a little bit more. Now that's a beautiful bowl of chicken. Of ourselves and not our avian friends. Please wash your hands. Okay, so new cutting board, new knife, even though that knife is fine. I just washed it, but it's drying. I'm going to teach you how to cut an onion. So if you have a really sharp knife, there's a cool trick that you can do. Cut off the tip. Cut onion in half. Okay. Now, really sharp knife. The sharper knives are better to use with onions because sometimes onions will be mean to you and talk about your mama. So, cool thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go like this and cut it 3 ways. Please be very, very careful. My technique is poor because my knife, oh my god, that onion. My knife is not that great. Great, so now you've cut your onion, two ways. Now the next thing you're going to do, take your onion, spin it like that. Go like this, curl your hair in and go bloop, bloop. Oh god, I have to get through this quick. That's all. You're done. Great. That's your veggies. I'm going to turn it on to about medium. I'm going to add a little olive oil. Or butter, or lard, or really anything. I don't really care, but olive oil for me, because I'm using olive oil. So I'll say that's 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. And it's just gonna be getting hot on the bottom. So, cool thing we're gonna do is gently put in chicken. Here. Ah, yes. So now, stirring the chicken. It's got all a bunch of good stuff on the bottom of the pan. Oh, that looks really good. And we'll take our onions with us. And you'll see why. Whew. Chicken looks good. Nice and cooked. So, I don't really care. I'm just going to throw the onions right in there, too. They'll cook down a lot. Chicken onion goodness. And just watch those guys as they cook down. Great. Onion's gonna cook down. I'm gonna come back to that. Going back over here, checking on this. Ooh, yes. Cool. So the onion looks like it's softening up, which is pretty good. No. Because the onion looks so good. So grab these guys, throw them in. Okay. Okay, so to review what's happened, I have diced the chicken, I have diced the onions, I put them both in the large Dutch oven to saute first. I also cut the 2 carrots and cut 4 stalks of celery. Those followed shortly after. My oven range was getting a little too hot, so I turned it down to low, and I'm letting the vegetables soften up for about 2 to 3 minutes before I get ready to throw in the stock and the noodles. Okay, so it is definitely ready at this point to put in the stock. I have a bunch of homemade stock right here, and we're gonna go ahead and measure it. It's my countertop. Okay, so that's 2 cups. Probably make it an even 4 cups. just to put that into perspective, 4 cups is 16 ounces. Sorry, 2 cups is 16 ounces, which means 4 cups is 32 ounces. So this is gonna get all nice and beautiful. So as you can see, in here, that much stock is actually not quite a lot. It only comes about halfway up. So I'm gonna add water the rest of the way. And you may be thinking to yourself, but Alex, you have all of this delicious stock. Why would you dilute that? It's fine. It's really fine. Okay, so now I'm just gonna stir this up. Put this back on medium to high heat, and wait for it to boil. I made water boil. Special salty water boil. That should be about right. It should be like that. I have about a 1/4 bag of egg noodle left, so in you go, egg noodle. Now I have this box of tricolor rotini, and I just put in a 1/4 of a bag of egg noodles, so I'm going to put in a 1/4 of a box of this stuff. Or until I feel happy. You may be a noodle purist for all I know, and you say, no, Alex, I shall not mix my noodles. You guys can be noodle purists all you want, but I won't look a noodle in the mouth. Okay, so, ooh, noodles look like they're about cooked, which is good. Turn that off the rest of the way. The most important things when making a soup is tasting it. This is a clean spoon. So, I didn't put any salt in it, and that's because at this point I usually like to put salt in it. Definitely need salt. I'm going to say 3 or 4 big pinches, which is going to be maybe about a 1/2 tablespoon of salt. And fresh cracked pepper. Is a little bit better than ground pepper. Fresh cracked pepper is a little bit better than ground pepper. Like that you can get like this, because fresh cracked pepper has a bunch of different like oils that usually end up drying up, so you don't get to taste as much of that really nice pepper flavor. You don't need to use as much of this as you would of ground pepper to make that flavor really nice and strong. Let's see. Oh yeah. Alright, that's perfect. How about that? This noodle soup was brought to you by you, hopefully. And I will see you next time with a new recipe, preferably the tiramisu recipe, which I've been working on for a while. Goodbye.